Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to The Rhythm. Today we're going to be reviewing the Reverse Retro 2.0s. Honestly, I think Adidas has done a great job making the jerseys for the NHL so far, and I was excited to see the new release, the bright, vibrant colors, take a stand to the NHL, so we're going to get into it, starting in the top left corner with the Florida Panthers. Leah, what did you think of the Panthers Reverse Retro jerseys?
I love them. It's so Florida. You look at it and you know it's from Florida. The big sun in the middle. I love the color. I love the FLA on the shoulder. It's such a good logo. And the photo that they have of Radko Gudas on the boat. Perfect. Love it.
Yeah, I think for me, it's very much a marketing ploy to try to get people to understand that hockey is not only for cold weather, but also warm weather as well. And what's a better place to start that marketing ploy than in Florida itself, where they just got Matthew Tkachuk. So I think they kind of alluded to that as a marketing idea with the cover of NHL 23 having the palm trees in the background and the warm weather there. But going even further and putting the players on the boat and promoting it there, as well as the ocean blue background with the sun shining, the palm trees crossed with the hockey sticks. It makes you think of like rollerblading and playing roller hockey, and that's something that I think could potentially grow in the state of Florida. So maybe Florida doesn't have the ice hockey fan base that a lot of people in the league would like to see there right now, but the more that they become a dominant team in the NHL, which they have been these last couple of years, and the more that they do marketing like this, I think it could very well grow to be a hot spot for the NHL. All right, moving on to the Montreal Canadiens, still in the top left corner. Leah, I know you're a huge Jake Allen fan, so this one hits a little bit close for you. How did you feel about the Canadiens, John, with the reverse retros?
I'm not impressed. I'm not. I mean, I know it's called the reverse retro, but they really didn't have to take it so literally. Last year, they had the dark blue ones, and this year, they literally reversed it, and they have light blue ones. Every year, and every time I see the Canadiens, they have the same logo. Why can't they change that logo? Everyone else did. They added some flair, added something different, but no, they kept with the same toilet bowl looking logo, and I'm flushing this one.
Yeah, I think for me, this one is just a lack of creativity. As much as there's been creativity within this program, not only this year, but last year, the Canadiens being an original six team, obviously you don't want to mess with history too much, but I feel like as an original six team, there should be some level of creativity there, or some kind of different logo. Or you've been around for all of these years. You could write Habs on the jersey. You could do anything in French, but the Canadiens decided to do none of that and just change the color of their primary color and say, here you go, send it in. I changed my work just a little bit, and it still looks good, so I'm gonna throw it in there. I like the creativity across the league, and the Canadiens, I think, were the least creative team in this reverse retro 2.0. So for me, I'm gonna flush it as well. All right, moving on to the Detroit Red Wings. What the fuck is this, guys? We're looking at just flat red jersey with like 4 black stripes on it. I don't know about the history there. I'm sure it's like some kind of significance for Red Wings fans, but what are we doing? The team's kind of nasty this year. You got Ville Husso, David Perron, Kubalik, bringing all these guys, Lucas Raymond, Mo Seider. Like, the team is loaded, and they're going to be trotting out these jerseys looking fly as hell, and I don't even know what to call these things. Abominations. Maybe not abominations. That's a little too far. But just red and black. You're going 2 colors here. Not a whole lot of creativity. I'm going to flush this one too, along with Jake Allen. Sorry, Leah. What did you think?
The first time that I laid eyes on this Detroit one, Waldo. Where's Waldo? They're going on the ice. There he is. There's Waldo.
Striped
That's all I
up.
see. Yes. I don't like it.
It almost looks like, what it reminds me of? Freddy Krueger.
Yeah.
Happy Halloween.
I can see that.
All right, moving on to the Calgary Flames. I'm not going to lie. This one's gotten a lot of heat. And I mean a lot of heat. As in, like, bottom of the barrel. This one's the worst out of the entire bunch. Heat. And for me, first of all, the black jersey with the white logo pops extremely well, and then throwing the yellow stroke around it looks pretty good as well. The red, the yellow, the black, the white, all within a palette together, I think looks good too. A lot of people aren't fan of the stripes on the sleeves and going all the way down. I don't necessarily mind that.
The New Jersey
the thing for
Devils
me that is a little
came
bit
in
strange
hot
is
with
the
the
fact
Kansas
that
City
the stripes
Scouts
are just
color
cranked to a
scheme,
90-degree
which makes sense
angle
because
at
the
the
Scouts
bottom of the
turned into
jersey. But
Colorado
you know what?
Rockies, and the
I
Colorado
like the
Rockies
creativity.
turned into
I
New
think
Jersey
that was
Devils,
around
so
in the
it is a nod to their
late
heritage. It is
80s,
a nod
early
to their
90s, something like that. I've
history.
seen the jerseys before.
And it looks
the first
I
time
love
that
the
they came
color scheme.
around.
It
And
looks
honestly,
fantastic, and it's a lot
even
better
with
than
the
their
90-degree
Christmas
angle of
jerseys
the
last
stripes at the bottom, I think
I
they're
agree
sick, and I like the
100%.
creativity, and
I
I like the
was gonna say
boldness. So I'm
they
always going to
chose
promote
the
that. I'm not going to flush
Christmas
these
tree
ones. You might,
tree
you
last
know,
year with
you might be
all
mad at me
green.
for saying that, but I actually
It
dig
was
these.
alright.
Leah, what about
I
you?
thought those were cool, but
I'm gonna
it
flush
doesn't
them.
compare to the
Sorry,
ones that they made
Calgary,
this year,
but
which are
I
10
cannot
times
get
better.
behind the
Definitely
forgetting to
step up.
rotate it all the way on the bottom of the stripe. I can't, and I don't really care for the way that the stripe goes down. It doesn't go all the way around. It's half and half. It's just not pleasing to my eyes as much as I love Calgary's jerseys.
It's a negative Ghost Rider.
Negative. And now we have the Edmonton Oilers. I don't know how I feel about this one. I give them props for choosing a different logo than they did last year. I didn't really care for the ones last year because it was just they added stripes to the same logo and the same color scheme. This one, it looks alright. They could have done a lot more with like the color and the stripes, maybe. I don't know.
I like their OG Meteor ones a little bit better, I think, but I don't mind these, but I also don't like these. It's almost like just like a and keep it moving. But
Yeah.
I think the Meteor, like the bottom of the Meteor almost looks like a gear. It's kind of funky to me. And then the orange, I guess it's an oil drop in the middle, being orange. I kind of dig that, actually. I think it's usually navy, if I'm not mistaken, but I kind of like the fact that they made it pop. Other than that, meh. All right, the Winnipeg Jets. This one is 1,000 times better than the one that they did last year. I still think their alternate jersey, the navy with the red, looks really clean, and I think that one has the same logo as this one. Big fan of this logo. Big fan of the palette with the baby blue and the navy, and they look even better on the ice. So this one's top notch for me.
I feel the exact same way. I love the color blue and the way that they incorporated all the different shades of blue into this jersey. Beautiful. Even better on the ice. I was kind of iffy with it being all white and they would like drown out with the ice. No. So good.
Still
so
pop.
so good.
All right, the Tampa Bay Lightning. So, first of all, wow, there's a lot going on here. A lot of artistic talent. You got the waves and the water. You've got the logo actually being a part of a storm with the rain falling and the lightning, as well as the lightning on the sleeves that actually kind of looks like flames. So there's a lot going on here, obviously, right? I think I would put these in the same category of the Blues clown jerseys, solely for the reason that obviously the 90s art styles in the 90s were very loud, very expressive. And the Blues even used a color scheme that we had never seen before with adding the color red. So a lot of people hate those clown jerseys because it's not the St. Louis Reds, it's the St. Louis Blues. But I think any jersey that ugly is always going to be iconic and always sit in your memory for a very long time. And I'm not a Tampa Bay Lightning fan per se, so I don't know if it's the same effect for them, but I imagine that it could potentially be. So I feel like there's a lot of love for this jersey in Tampa Bay. Probably a lot of people who hate it too, but nevertheless, it's always going to stick in your memory, and that's what you want in any kind of jersey. So I actually kind of dig the way that they went about this one.
I don't know. At first glance, I was, what is going on? And then,
I think one of the players said, it's so ugly that it's beautiful, or something along those lines, and I think that's a perfect way to describe it.
Yeah. At first look at the font that they used for the numbers on the back, it reminded me of the Rugrats. Not gonna lie. I mean,
90s though.
It's got the 90s vibes, but it's cool. It's different. At least they took a risk with that, and I respect it. But I mean, I like the front. I like the logo on the front, but other than that, I don't.
Toronto Maple Leafs, way too safe. didn't take any risks for me. The logo's changed just a little bit, and I do like the detail there. But other than that, I mean, it really looks a lot like the jerseys that they wear every single night. So you added a white shoulder pads, you added a couple white stripes. But other than that, like I said, lack of creativity. It's not doing it for me.
Yep. It's at least they changed it from what they did last year with these reverse retros, but like you said, there's no difference. If they were to come out on the ice wearing these, I wouldn't know that they're wearing their reverse retros. It's just an added stripe, added shoulder, same blue, basically the same logo.
I will say, though, last year's were ugly, so these are at least better than those. Anaheim Ducks, I mean, pure sex we're talking about right now. You got the Mighty Ducks logo with the new age colors, the orange, the gold, the black. I mean, this is top tier stuff right here. You're taking an old logo, revitalizing it for the new age modern look, and it just looks unbelievable. Top 5 for me for sure, 100%. All 3 of these coming up are nasty.
I love it. You can't go wrong with that Mighty Ducks logo, and they look even better when the team's wearing them. As always, big W from the Anaheim Ducks.
Anaheim Ducks don't miss much with their jerseys. Even last year, it was loud and obnoxious with the Mighty Duck flying out of the water, I believe. But I still liked it, and they, creativity, top notch. And Zeig's wearing these, unreal. So the Buffalo Sabres did pretty much exactly what the Ducks did. They took a beloved logo with the goat head, which everybody was wanting. Whether you wanted the black or red or not, taking that logo, throwing it on the chest again, bringing it back, and putting that blue and yellow on there, which always looks so clean. I believe they did well with their reverse retro last year. Their alternates, their winter classics are always top notch. They knocked it out of the park as well, 2 for 2.
This color scheme, just like the Ducks, beautiful. But I know a lot of people were upset that they didn't go the black and red route. They chose to stay with their typical gold and blue and white. I love it. It looks even better on the ice.
You think it looks better than the black and red?
Yes, I do.
The Boston Bruins come back violently with the Pooh Bear jerseys. Oh, bother. I mean, these things, dude, honestly, pulling off a brown and yellow color scheme is tough to do, but the Bruins did it magnificently with this jersey. This might be top 2 for me, honestly. This is top notch. The Bruins always do pretty well, and yeah, top 2, 100%.
I like the stripes on the bottom. Actually, it's kind of a weird little pattern they got going on.
Gives you a grizzly feel.
Yeah, I really like that. I like that they went away from the spoked B that they usually have on their jerseys and went for the bear to fit the Bruins vibe. Love it. Good job.
Bear. The Nashville Predators. Leah, I know you've got a lot of Nashville Predators fans that follow you on Twitter. What do you think of their reverse retro?
I know that a lot of you guys wanted a navy one, but they keep going the gold and the yellow route. I like it. I like that logo, but I too agree that you guys should have went the navy route. That would have looked so good and something different, something that's not yellow that blinds me every time I look at the ice is just too much. I know it's y'all's thing with Saros being, I actually call Saros a lemon head because he's literally all yellow and you can't see anything but yellow. So I call him lemon head, but it would have looked so good in navy. That's all I have against it. I like the logo, but other than that, wish it was navy.
Yeah, I'm not going to lie. I mean, in terms of creativity and what you can do from a marketing aspect, I mean, the Nashville Predators kind of knock it out of the park. I like Nash as a mascot. I like the multiple logos that they have. I don't think they really have any logos that are ugly. But like Leah said for this one, I think the background of the triangle being navy, you could have done a lot more with that with a navy base for the jersey. You could even put like a yellow stroke around it to make it pop more. And I believe, like Leah said, that the fans were kind of wanting that as well. So fans know best. Listen to them. Next time, Predators do a navy jersey. All right, St. Louis Blues reverse retro. First of all, way better than red, which did last year. A lot of people didn't like that one. I liked it, but I think this one is way better. And anytime you can switch up the logo, this is a logo that we haven't seen before, so I think that's cool as well. Still would love to see more usage of the musical notes as piping on the stripes, but that's a topic for another day. The yellow, I think, is bright, and when they first when I first heard that they were going to be yellow jerseys, I was like, oh my God. Probably the same way that the Predators felt. And like, man, you can really mess up a yellow jersey bad. But the St. Louis Blues kind of knocked it out of the park with their balance of the baby blue. Kind of gives that Winter Classic vibes, even though it's not the same thing. But history, tradition, all of those things are what makes Blues jerseys so cool. And this reverse retro follows in line with that.
I love it. I am not a fan of yellow, usually. So, like he said, when it was going to be yellow, I was like, oh no. with my brown hair, with a yellow jersey, I don't. But I love it. I love that they use that prototype logo that no one's ever seen. It's beautiful, and it's going to look even better on the ice, and I cannot wait.
All right, moving on to the Arizona Coyotes. Just changed up the color scheme from last year's reverse retro a little bit. Honestly, I like the bright purple a little bit better, a little bit louder for me personally. I was thinking, maybe a reverse retro for the Kachina. Just kind of see, what they can pull out of their hat. But also at the same time, the Kachina is such a masterpiece of a jersey that maybe Coyotes fans wouldn't want them to touch that ever and disgrace that thing. So comment below what you think on that topic, but that's kind of where I'm at here. I like the color scheme. I like what they did last year, and so just changing the colors up, it's not necessarily like a lack of creativity thing, because I think it still looks sick with the Arizona horizon at the bottom of it, and then just playing to the place where you're playing. But these are gonna look pretty sweet on the ice in Mullet Arena, so can't knock them for anything.
I agree. It's a meh for me. I mean, you can't go wrong with any of Arizona's logos, really. But like he said, I liked the purple one last year a lot more. I'm just not a fan of brown, really. It's too much with my hair. It's too much brown. Personally, I like it. It looks good. But I am a big fan of the purple one.
Minnesota Wild. Leah, how you feel?
What you didn't even do anything. This one is even worse than Montreal with the lack of creativity. Minnesota just went in, said, all right, they didn't do anything but change a few colors, send it in, and say, here you go. I mean, when they first came out with the North Stars look last year, loved it. They did something awesome, but then they did the exact same thing with the exact same logo.
For me, the North Stars is such an iconic look for the Minnesota Wild that it's almost an essence of if it's not broke, don't fix it kind of thing. That being said, there is a lack of creativity there. Obviously, you could have gone a little bit louder with the North Stars, but that green and yellow color scheme, I think with the white mixed in there, is iconic for any hockey fan. So them going back to the well with the reverse retros, once again, using the North Stars look, it's safe. It makes sense. It's marketable. It's going to make them money, so why not? Does it get me riled up and excited? Not necessarily, but what are you going to do? Dallas Stars, all I got to say is bring back the Mooterus, and anything else is a disappointment for me. Bring back the Mooterus.
I don't know how to feel about that. It's lame. There's not much going on. It's a star. They're the Dallas Stars. It's the same song and dance that you usually see from Dallas, but
Are they better or worse than the black and green ones that were like neon green?
I like the neon greens.
I did too, actually.
I was a fan. These are kind of bland. It's like they went kind of backwards they went neon and then they went back to being safe kind of thing. They're all right.
They kind of look like someone made a club on NHL 23 that's a Dallas Stars fan and was like, we're going to make the Stars jersey, but we don't have the necessary assets to do it, so we're going to make it look like this instead. The Vancouver Canucks and the OG Johnny Canuck logo. I love the use of the navy. I love that they pulled the cream out of the logo and obviously the green there as well. Huge fan of this one. Not much bad I can say about it, although I don't think it's in the elite tier of the Pooh Bear, of the Ducks, of the Goat Head, nothing like that, but I think it's kind of in the tier below that. They were kind of safe with their color scheme, but the logo itself being that sick and being that historic makes up for it for me.
I like it also. They chose a classic logo. They changed it up a bit. I was a fan of the ones last year, actually, too. I like the gradient. They did that. They went that way. Something different. I like it. Good job, Vancouver.
Seattle Kraken, their reverse retro with a callback to the Iron Men. I mean, listen, at the end of the day, they have the best color scheme in the league, in my opinion. That teal and that navy blue and that red, you can't really go wrong with that in any combination, so they knocked it out of the park. Even if they don't have that rich history, technically, because they're an expansion team, I don't think it would be anybody's best efforts, including theirs, to be like, yeah, you guys just sit this one out. So, I love it.
I love it too. The way that they use that teal, I love that color. And I wish more teams would broaden the horizon of the color wheel and do things like that instead of the same typical yellow, red, black, same thing like that.
Roy G. Biv.
Yes. I love these. And like you said, I know a lot of people are like, oh, well, they've only been in the league for a year. How come they have a reverse retro, blah, blah. You can't leave them out. And at least they paid homage to an older team.
Helps their fans get excited as well. Helps the NHL make more money, which they're always going to do. All right, now the San Jose Sharks.
What the fuck is that?
You hate all of the most historic ones, I swear. It's not a knockoff, but it's paying homage to the California Seals. And the teal and the yellow, you just talked about how much you love the teal.
I know, but this, I don't know. I know it pays a tribute to the older team, but it's just lame. I wish there was a cool... I wish there was a cool logo, something, but it's just, I love that color scheme. I love the look of it, but there's the sharks in the front. I'm like, it doesn't do it for me.
That is true. If it was maybe like a photo or like a graphic logo instead of just a text logo, that would be cool as long as that logo that they created was sick and not an abomination. So they probably played it safer by just using the same font that the Seals did. But I personally love this one, and the way white as the primary kind of, I think, looks really well with that teal and yellow. If you would have swapped it and used teal or yellow as a primary, it would have been a disaster. So I think they did the best that they could, and they knocked it out of the park. Leah thinks it sucks. Carolina Hurricanes, but make it Rangers.
It's the same. Isn't this their away jersey but red? Come on, Canes, you could do better than this.
They got that take warning flag, which I think is really cool, and how they utilize that in their stripes as well. But you can only do so much with it so many times. So they said, let's crank this sucker diagonal and see how they love that. I don't know. They could have done a little bit more. I would have liked to see a little bit more creativity. Colorado Avalanche. As much as I hate seeing these guys tear up the league, as a fan of a Central Division team, these jerseys are sick. They pulled the colors from the Colorado flag itself, which I think a lot of other teams could take lessons from, because the Blues jersey would look sweet if they did something like that. I know they've used the St. Louis flag in the collar before. Big C in the middle obviously stands for Colorado, and then the yellow circle in the middle of that is supposed to represent the sunshine that always shines throughout their state. So
doesn't it snow every day there?
It might. I don't know. I've only been to Colorado once, but nevertheless, I think the pointed bottom, the border, the red, the yellow stroke with the navy and the white base, I think is just a great look overall, and they're going to look even better on the ice for sure.
I like them. I'm a fan. Nothing will beat them going the Nordiques route last year.
That was sick.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. I do love these. I like that they paid homage to their flag and they use that as a logo. Beautiful.
All right, moving on to the Chicago Blackhawks. All right, the Washington Capitals. I mean, if you don't get amped up about the Screaming Eagle by itself, you can just leave right now. This is one of the best logos in the league. And watching Ovi, one of the greatest players of all time, wear this sucker once again is going to be electric. This might honestly be number one for me out of the whole shebang. The Islanders, which we'll get to in a little bit, might be pushing for that a little bit, but the Screaming Eagle is so iconic and so sick. I love it so much. Top tier.
I love it too. I know they didn't change much from the reverse retro last year. It was red and they switched it to that dark black color. I still love it. You can't go wrong with that logo. You can't go wrong with the story behind it. Love it.
The New York Rangers pretty much did the same thing they did in the last reverse retro. They just amped up the saturation a little bit. But for me, that was all it took to fall in love with this one again. The Lady Liberty logo is one of the best in the league. Very iconic. But the Navy was kind of I'm not saying that it looked bad, but it definitely could have looked better, and I think they made it look better this year with the blue, the light blue, and the red. So top notch for me as well on this one.
I love it. It makes it pop more. When they're out there on the ice, woo!
The Columbus Blue Jackets might just want to stop trying to make jerseys altogether. No, that's a little bit of a stretch. But I think both of these reverse retros, in my opinion, were not great. The red and the white look last year was just weird. I feel like if you're going to have a red base, you shouldn't have white shoulders, but especially like to the degree that they had. But nonetheless, this one, the black and the blue just looks very weird to me, and it clashes, but I like their logo, obviously, and they're a fine team, but they definitely can go retro a little bit better than they have. Why not use a logo that has the cannon on it? That would be sweet. Anyways.
I don't know how I feel. I mean, they're the Blue Jackets, and they seem to not wear blue. You know what I mean? You can't really do much with that. It looks like their jerseys that they normally wear. They made it black. They added stripes. They used the same damn logo. At least they tried last year. They didn't hit for me, but whatever they did this year,
missed the mark.
Yeah.
Expand your creativity. You can do a little bit more with Blue Jackets. Let's see some soldiers in there. Let's see some cannons, some artillery. You're just using stars and stripes. It's not doing it for us.
And we have the Ottawa Senators. I love this logo. You can't go wrong with that. It's a classic. It looks great. They didn't change much. They just made it black instead of red from last year. Not much else I can say on that.
I do like the fact that they keep putting the white stroke around their logos to make them pop more off the chest. And I do love the red on the sleeves that they've been using. But yeah, kind of the same way, It's not ugly, it's not awful, but it doesn't do a whole lot for me, so it's there, and that's all that matters. The Pittsburgh Penguins brought back the Robo Penguin jerseys, and I could not be more excited as a hockey fan. Seen so many historic Penguins players wear that jersey, including the great Mario Lemieux. Now we're going to see the great Sidney Crosby wear it as well. It's iconic. When you think of hockey, that's one of the jerseys you think of. And to see Sid the Kid wear it now is going to be, I feel like it's going to be every hockey fan's wet dream. So I can't wait, and this is going to be top notch for me too.
I love it. Penguins, they never miss on their jerseys either. Yeah, although it is just a plain yellow-black color scheme, at least they know how to make a good jersey.
Iconic. The Philadelphia Flyers. I'm not too big on these jerseys by themselves on the surface, but all that really matters here is that they'll be wearing their Cooperalls while they warm up as well, which are the pants that cover the socks, go all the way down to the ankle, look absolutely amazing. When you think of retro hockey, the Flyers wearing those bad boys are one of the first things you think of. So that is going to be absolutely epic. I would love to see them in a game. Obviously, there are rules in place that won't allow that for the NHL at this point, but I think that whole look for warm-ups is going to look unbelievable.
I like these. They're fine. I mean, I don't really have an opinion on them. Last year, they were orange instead of white, so it's the same, just reverse color scheme. It's a meh, but the pants make up for it for sure.
What do you think about the Los Angeles Kings bringing back the purple and gold with the white and the royalty logo? How do you feel about that, Leah?
Beautiful. Love it. I love the purple. I love different color schemes. I said that before, and I'll say it again. I love it. And that logo, absolutely beautiful.
Yeah, I think that logo is one of the best in the NHL. Like, when you think of old retro jerseys, I think the Kings is one of the first ones that comes to your mind, obviously with the Ducks, obviously with a whole bunch of other teams. But I would put the Kings one right up there with the Ducks in terms of being iconic. So for them to bring back this logo, still use that purple and gold, but not as the primary, I think looks unbelievable, and it's a great job by them for sure. The New Jersey Devils came in hot with the Kansas City Scouts color scheme, which makes sense because the Scouts turned into the Colorado Rockies, and the Colorado Rockies turned into the New Jersey Devils. So it is a nod to their heritage. It is a nod to their history, and it looks. I love the color scheme. It looks fantastic, and it's a lot better than their Christmas jerseys last year. So
I agree 100%. I was going to say they chose the Christmas tree way last year with the all green. It was all right. I thought those were cool, but it doesn't compare to the ones that they made this year, which are 10 times better. Love it.
definitely a step up for sure. The New York Islanders brought back the Fisherman logo, and it is about time because I feel like every hockey fan has been clamoring for that one for years. Now, obviously, I would have liked to see a little bit more teal in that sucker, but the navy and the orange is iconic, and that logo is one of the best in the league, maybe one of the best in sports as a whole. So this, like I said, this might be number one for me. It's definitely one or two, and it's jostling position every time I think about it.
This is a gigantic step in the right direction as compared to the reverse retro jersey last year, which was just, they turned the saturation down a little bit on the jerseys that they already wear. So that was stupid, it was lame, and I hated it last year. But this year, beautiful. Love that Fisherman logo. Love everything about it. Like you said, I wish they would have added more teal because teal is awesome, but they definitely stepped it up this year.
Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Leave a comment below what your favorite reverse retro jersey was. I'm still going to go with the Screaming Eagle. Leah's going to go with any of them that weren't historic. But make sure you comment yours below. We can talk about it together. And thank you guys so much for tuning in. Like I said, we'll see you next time. Peace.